Namaskar, Jay Mohanji, and good afternoon. Welcome to yet another session where we will talk about, again, a topic that I have chosen for today, which has been something that I spoke about last year as well. And I think it is time again to reiterate the thoughts. Followed by the Gayatri chanting, the Gayatri Mantra chanting 108 times. Now, again, I would say that those of you who can chant with me, I would be happy if you can. Even if you cannot do the 108 times, whatever times you can, please do join me in the chant. And those of you who cannot chant now, make it a point that you kind of take out at least 5 minutes, either in the morning time or in the evening time, and start with probably 8 times and then increase in multiples of 8. That will really help ease a lot of the tension and the stress which is going on in the environment right now. Okay, so coming back to the topic for today, what I want to speak about is purpose. What is the purpose of human life? We all often ask this question to ourselves, and we go around looking for the answers. I myself have gone through this phase through years. And more often than not, we get lost in the endeavor to look for the answer. And the most common reason is that we're too busy either with our jobs, our work, our families, our chores. And we don't actually kind of find the right answer. While I keep saying that there is nothing wrong or right, and it comes to the person when the time is right, however, it is our responsibility to a certain extent to walk the extra mile to define what is our purpose. I spoke about this last year as well when the pandemic was just beginning, and I'm speaking about it now as well because somewhere when you know what is your purpose in life, you will not have the feeling of, oh my God, everything is again back to where it was, things are standstill, businesses are again down, we are again confined to our homes, we can't go out, there's so much of restriction, so what do? I have nothing to do. But there is so much to do, and while you do that, you can still fulfill your purpose in life. And why am I kind of, many of you may just kind of wonder, why am I mixing the two concepts of purpose in life and what are we doing on a daily basis? Because the both are highly interlinked in a way. Now, if you go back to the scriptures, which whether it is the Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita or any of the books by masters who have written, at the topmost level, they say that the purpose of human life is liberation, right? And what does it mean? What does it really mean? Because at the tactical level, I'm using very management words because that's what comes easiest to my mind. And also I feel most of my friends and viewers, they come from a corporate life and it becomes easier for them to understand when I use. So at the tactical level, okay, what does it mean, liberation? It's very simple if you just kind of take 2 minutes, step back and look at yourself. Whatever that we do in our lives, whether it's for our family, for our kids, for our parents, in our jobs, at office, whether if you're playing a sport, in our groups where we play sports, or in social gatherings, whatever we do, there are basically 3 things involved. One, that it should make us happy, or we think it makes us happy. Okay. 2, it should give us peace. Which many of us don't understand because we kind of do something and later we come back with a little distressed state of mind as to I did something for someone or for a group and yet it did not have the desired results, and you get disturbed. The reason is when you do something for someone or a group or a gathering with an expectation, it will not give you peace. So defining what is peace for you is very important. So one is happiness, second is peace, and third one is kind of a mix of the two, which I kind of, it's probably my definition. It should give you satisfaction. So when all these 3 things are involved in any activity, chore that you do, it becomes your purpose in life. It is as simple as that. Again, this is not something written by someone. It is what I have learned over the years when I have spoken to my guru, Sri Mohanji, and what I have gathered in each of the satsangs that I have attended, each of the times I've asked him a question that, yes, what is my purpose in life? What do I want to do? Because if, like many of us who've been working for many years, suddenly after a point in time, you start wondering. I go to office, I do this, I chase deadlines, I have Monday morning meetings, I have Friday morning reportings, and I have quarterlies, and I have yearlies, and it's all the closings all together. But finally, what is the purpose? So the purpose is something in life, or in a simplistic manner, it is your calling in life, where it should give you happiness, it should give you peace, and most importantly, it should satisfy your zest or zeal so that you can shed that desire and move on to the next activity. So this is more at a tactical level. At a very high level, as I said, purpose is your calling in life. As per the scriptures, it is also, we say that it is our dharma, our duty, our responsibility, right? Now, that's my daughter. So, okay, so that is the big picture, the vision, the purpose. Coming down to the smaller things, it is our happiness, our peace, our satisfaction. And how does all of this put together affect our lives today in COVID times? That is why I'm talking about this today. Way back in 2013, I had this very, like most of us have had, and some of us have been able to come out of it, some of us still continue to have that. Why am I doing all this? I'm kind of chasing my goals, and I'm taking a Monday morning flight and returning on Friday morning. And why am I doing all this every day, right? What is the purpose? And when that question started, it took me a few years to actually, get the answers. And I am one of those lucky souls. I am blessed. I kind of thank my my masters and my seniors every day that yes, I've been able to find my answer to a large extent, that what is my purpose? My purpose in life was to step back at that point in time and to do things that I have always wanted to do without any expectations of whether that is going to give me any monetary benefits, without even trying to keep some benchmarks of wins or losses, because those benchmarks are always societal, and when you get into those benchmarks, again, it takes you away from your purpose. Your definitions, your targets, or should all be internal. And that is what I also spoke about in the last session, that the journey is always to yourself. Your explanations, your regrets, if I were to call so. I personally am somebody who don't believe in regrets anymore, but if someone, for all my views, if someone has these concepts, okay, I should not regret this decision, or I should not regret doing XYZ, all those explanations, justifications should always be to yourself and not to anybody else. And therefore I could come out with an answer as to what is my purpose in life, and I started chasing those dreams and those actions which made me happy, which gave me peace, internal peace to myself. When I woke up in the morning, I felt good about it. When I slept every night, I felt my day was justified, and I felt that I have done certain things that made certain people happy, sad, whatever, but I at least made an effort towards the seva that I wanted to do, which was my purpose, right? So in all of this, again, when I read certain books, because this concept of purpose is very simplistic and yet very complicated. And as I said, often most of us get lost. How do we get lost? That we have this question, that what is my purpose in life? We speak to our friends and well-wishers. They give you advice, but often and not, more often than not, you will kind of brush away those advices by saying that, oh, I'm too busy and I don't have the time, or I cannot make time from my schedule, or I'm too busy doing what I am. If that is the excuse that you're giving, then obviously those are not your purposes in life. That is what you need to accept. So again, coming back to the concept of acceptance, when you want to find your purpose in life, you have to have a very high level of acceptance, that till you find the right thing, you will always have a reason to say no. And again, I would say there is no right or wrong. The reason would only come when you're not convinced. And if you're not convinced, then don't do it. Move ahead. The moment you come, but then keep seeking. If you stop seeking, and if you realize, if you again kind of introspect and see that you're giving more reasons than seeking, then you're just procrastinating, and you don't really want to find your purpose in life. So have that acceptance. Hey, okay, I'm happy, I'm doing what I'm doing. Once in a while I have this query, what is my purpose in life? My friends and well-wishers give me, or my family, they give me certain advices. I put a reason to each one of them saying why I cannot do this, and I move ahead in life. You are not there yet in terms of actually understanding what you're calling in life, which is perfectly okay. But then the only thing which is not okay is, don't blame yourself at the end of the week saying that, hey, what am I doing? I haven't found my purpose in life, because the two are contradictory. Why am I talking about this today? Why? Because when COVID hit last year, suddenly all our plans and like I said in the last session, man proposes, God disposes. So all our plans of the future, of our business plans, our family plans, our vacation plans, everything was stalled, right? And life came to a standstill, a situation which was unprecedented. I'm sure in my lifetime, even in my parents' lifetime, maybe in my grandparents, they saw it during the Independence War. Maybe my parents, especially my father, recalls some incidents during the 1971 Civil War. But life still didn't come to a kind of standstill, which happened in April 2020, or end March, beginning April 2020. So everything that we planned for suddenly came to a standstill. And because I kind of volunteer for certain organizations, there was a lot of distress queries from acquaintances, strangers, people who follow Mohanji to a certain extent, would come and give the queries. Hey, what is my purpose in life? I was meant to do XYZ, and suddenly everything is stopped. So how do I move ahead? And that's when from the Mohanji Foundation, many initiatives were started to help people understand that there is a greater calling in life rather than your 9-to-5 jobs, or your plans, or your vacations, or your marriage, or your impending so and so, and therefore try and see that light. Similarly, in the volunteer groups that I'm part of, there are many zesty and very enthusiastic people who actually set up camps to help the migrant workers who are going back to their hometowns, to help the people who are not so privileged in our societies because of sudden loss of income, sudden loss of livelihood. And there were so many initiatives that we started and we worked for. And at that point in time, I remember I took the session and I said that each one of us who have this question today, that what is my purpose in life and nothing is moving ahead, I requested them, please come forward and support the initiatives. Support somebody who's lost a job. Support somebody whose family is going through COVID and they don't have any other support system, even if you don't know them. It is very easy for us to say that I don't know what I want to do because I feel lack of direction. But at the same time, when you give this direction to someone, they would come back and say, yeah, all this is fine, but because there's COVID, I don't think I should expose myself. That is not correct. There's so many things that one can do and coordinate remotely, virtually, if you really want to do. And therefore, do not give the reason to yourself because there is COVID, I can't do XYZ, I cannot help somebody. If you are in a state of mind where your purpose in life is to help somebody and you've been able to identify it, you can become a virtual, I wouldn't say counselor, because in today's time counseling is taken in a very professional way, but you can become a mentor or a amateur counselor where you can speak to people, you can hear them out, you can be an agony aunt, you can give them that 20 minutes of your time so that they can open their hearts to you. You can be patient, you can cook a meal for your neighbor. There are slums around where most of us are there. There's slums around us. You can probably sponsor their monthly ration. You can probably not deduct pay for all the daily workers, or all the part-time workers who come to your place, even if they are not working for you. I know most of us have done that, but I'm just reiterating, because even those small actions that you put, and if you make it a purpose in your life, then you will feel that you are not actually useless, because of COVID, you won't get a sense of that you're not doing anything. And even if many of your plans have been stalled at that point in time, and if you're not able to move ahead with your plans, you will still feel that there is something somewhere that you are adding a value. And if you can identify that something somewhere, and if you can add that value, you will feel so much more satisfied and so much more peaceful inside and so much more happy. I just cannot tell you. Many of us think that if you just do a financial donation, we have actually fulfilled our responsibility, which is true to a certain extent, because without monetary support, none of the social projects or none of the voluntary work can happen. But just try and think a little beyond it. Now with COVID on our doorsteps and most of us confined to homes, we have a little more time, because we are not traveling, we are not probably socializing, we are not going out to the market to physically buy anything. So there's that much more time in our hands, and that time, if you can apply, instead of sitting and thinking what is your purpose in life and what is the next thing you should be doing, if you can apply that time to somebody else's lives, whether it's in the form of mentoring, counseling, cooking for someone, booking ration for someone and sending it, delivering it, or even speaking to a friend whose family is going through a tough time, with whom you haven't connected for ages probably, but still you are doing it, that itself will be, you will realize slowly that if you have these inclinations, that itself becomes your purpose in life. And though you may not do it with the same intensity when COVID goes away, because you will go back to a normal chores and responsibilities, but somewhere you would have found out what your purpose in life is, and it could be in various different ways. We also call it seva in our language, because seva is a very important part of purpose or dharma. And when you connect all these dots, whether in the Indian philosophy, Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, any philosophy, finally everything, that we call a calling or a purpose or a seva is your dharma, and the more you align towards that, the more you are bridging the gap between reality and liberation. And as we go there, you will feel that you will slowly understand the concepts of liberation. It doesn't happen in a day, it doesn't happen in a week, it doesn't happen in a month. It may take years, but this journey will be something that you will always look back to and be thankful and be grateful, first of all to yourselves, and also to the people who inspired you to do it. In fact, when you look back and all those people's lives that you have touched in this process, they will be so much more grateful to you, that that sense of that happiness in their lives will give you so much more happiness, which you would never have experienced otherwise. Now, while I'm saying this, why am I saying this? I'm just saying this because for me, as I said, I have been able to identify my purpose, and one of them is to inspire and motivate all the good people that I know to stop procrastinating if they do, and to do something that they're capable of. This is not to blow my trumpet or to say that I have done XYZ, because there is no point in doing that. When you do something for someone, it is, again, as I said, it's a journey inside. You have to justify only to yourself, and you have to feel good about it without any expectations. But when someone like me or maybe some of my fellow volunteers or peers, we talk about it, we just talk about it purely with the intention of motivating others, because there's so many of us who have these qualities, but we are not able to identify. We get lost. It's like there's so much of noise around us in the daily in our daily lives, that we don't enjoy the sounds of nature, right? The birds chirping in the morning, the trees fluttering, the leaves fluttering. So we stopped enjoying those things, because we become deaf to those things. But when someone actually tells you, hey, can you hear the bird chirping in your backyard? And you stop and you focus and you see that it's so beautiful. So which is exactly what I'm trying to say right now, is all of us are capable of finding our purpose in life. All of us are capable of walking that extra mile to do something good for someone that you know. Even if you don't know, it doesn't matter. Now is the time. We are going through this unprecedented pandemic once again. Before it becomes an endemic and it becomes a part of our daily life, we still have some time to go. Think of what you can do in this time which can take you a step closer to liberation, which can take you a step closer to being more peaceful and satisfied inside, which can give you happiness which is not dependent on any materialistic objects, but only on an emotion which comes directly from your heart. And if there is something I can do to help you walk that path, please reach out to me, because one of the things that I said in my last session as well is in this season of the session, I would want it to be more interactive. I would want people to connect with me. Either you can message me on Facebook, or probably from the next session I'll go live on YouTube, because that's a better technical medium for a video. But the idea is to also learn from someone in my friends group or someone in my connections, something that they have done which I haven't done, and I would be happy to learn from them. It's a two-way process. Sometimes even I get derailed. Sometimes even I get caught in certain what should I say, like I lack determination on certain things. So these sessions are also meant to keep each other focused, on not distracted, so that we can attain that, we can attain what should I say, some of the objectives that we have set for ourselves. The objective of today's session is primarily requesting my friends and connections to introspect, to try and see what is your purpose, or not see, seek what is your purpose in life. I'm sure 90% of you have asked this question to yourselves and your close friends, while talking or discussing, or even while contemplating. But it's time to take actions. And before I start the chanting, I would want to give you one small trick in how you can convert these discussions, thoughts into actions. So I kind of made a note, because usually I don't prepare, but today I did, because I just sometimes when I talk, I get too carried away, and then I digress from one topic to another, and then at the end of the session, when I look back into my own video, I feel, oh my God, I had thought of this and I forgot to talk about it, because I wasn't probably structured well. So today I made that effort to structure. So when any of you have this thought or have this question in your mind, hey, what is my purpose in life, and I don't know where to start from, I would want you to make a note like this. So and again, these are my interpretations from the teachings of my guru and the books that I have read. Each of you are obviously free to kind of read and interpret it the way you want, but the objective should remain the same, that each of us should find internal happiness, peace and satisfaction within us. Once that is attained, then the way to getting there is not important anymore. But before you attain there, the route is important. So basically, if you know that you're trying to find your purpose, I would say purpose in life is basically a combination of three factors. And purpose equates dharma. Those of you who are into Gita, then you can relate it to dharma as well, or your responsibility, duties in life. So how do you fulfill it, So it's a combination of your passion, basically what you like to do, and your skill, what you are good at or what you're trained to do, and to a certain extent what is the seva that you want to do, right? So sorry, not the seva, that is what I was getting at, the duty, basically, so if I were to put this in my context, if I were to give you an example, my passion has always been to be involved in social projects, even while I was working, and I discovered this nearly 10-12 years back. And that comes from so when I deep dive, why does it kind of attract me? I realize that I am a person who likes to network, who likes to be with people, who likes to listen and act upon those what I listen to kind of relieve something of someone, and primarily even so my primary skills were networking, bonding, and being with people to kind of give them or help them where I can, basis my experiences. So that is where my passion was. My skill was, I'm a trained in certain so I'm in what should I say? So I'm a chartered accountant. So I was trained to do finance when I started my career. But over a period of time, I moved to sales and marketing, and I also did a executive management course from IIMB. So I was trained to be a finance person, then I was trained to be a sales and marketing person, and therefore these are the skills. So these skills helped me earn my livelihood, and then I kind of, and these skills you can keep upgrading in your life, you know, there is no end to it. So it's so that's my skill. And finally, my duty is I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter-in-law. So all these things, or I'm also probably in certain extent, I'm also an employer. I'm also or I was an employee at one point in time when I was working. So all these are my duties, and therefore how I kind of discharge my duties is also important till the time I'm. So when we make this matrix, then we kind of see where we are placed in all of that, and what is it, that one thing which will give us happiness and which will, you know, kind of help us fulfill each of this. Okay, and while we are doing that, you know, so what I constantly try and do is, what gives me happiness, what gives me peace, what gives me satisfaction, right? Because at the end of the day, you may say that you have a job, and you may say that job is not my passion, I do it to earn a livelihood. But if you don't have a livelihood, then you're basically not happy, right? You cannot be happy, and therefore it is illogical to say that I will quit my job and try and do something where you're not earning any money and you don't have a livelihood. Similarly, you may have like a passion for music, but you may not be a good singer because which is good enough to earn you a livelihood. So you can try and hone your skills. You can do it as a part-time. You can kind of, or you can kind of, like for me, I really loved to sing, but I'm not a good singer and I was not trained. But because my daughter has a good voice, I kind of imparted that to her, that passion to her, and I ensure that she gets trained in music, which, and only because she is also interested, and which helps me fulfill my passion by looking at her. I'm happy looking at her, and when she sings for me, it gives me that peace and happiness. So indirectly, I'm fulfilling my karma. So when you do this matrix, you know, in your when every time you have this question, what is my purpose in life, I'm sure many of you will be able to get to a point. And if you do this in the context of the pandemic, where you say, okay, if my purpose is to help somebody who's stuck in this pandemic, and even though I'm stuck at home, I can do this, make this matrix and try and find a way so that you reach out to people who need your help during this point. So with this, I think I come to the end of the talking that I had to do. We will do the chanting because that is also a core part of the sessions, the 108 Gayatri mantra. Those of you who want to do it with me, I would be happy. And ensure that you do it minimum of 8 times, even if you don't want to do the entire, or multiples of 8. Okay, so with that, few deep breaths, you center yourself, and we start. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodaya. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. And the last three chants we shall recite it slowly. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Thank you for watching and thank you for chanting. We shall meet again not tomorrow. Tomorrow is a live chant at home, so I will not be going online. So we shall see you all. So I shall see you all again on Tuesday. Till then, stay safe, stay home if you can, and do well. Good afternoon. Namaskar. Jai Mohan ji.